Palantir is down almost 18% in the last week. It's up about 1% in the last month and up almost 28% in the last 12 weeks. So Palantir is still in a long-term uptrend, but it is facing some selling pressure at the moment. So in this video, I'm going to conduct a price analysis for Palantir and offer my thoughts and opinions on whether you should buy this stock. Let's take a look. I'd like to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/DavidB for the 5 best stocks to buy now. Use my special link to get $200 off their epic annual subscription. Now, if you find value in my analysis of Palantir Technologies today or other stocks on my channel, you may also find value in my email newsletter. If you subscribe, I'll share with you professional trading tips to help you make more profits trading stocks. Link down below, check it out. On the weekly chart for Palantir, we can see this stock has been trending up for a long time now. From this significant trough down here of around about $5.89, Palantir has moved up gradually, forming higher highs and higher lows, confirming it's in a confirmed uptrend. From December 2022 to around August 2024, so over 2 years, this stock has been trending up gradually. However, at this point there was a price deflection and the trend has accelerated. So from August 2024, there has been a lot of buying interest in Palantir. And you can see these higher highs and higher lows have got much more aggressive. That trend has accelerated. You can see from here, the trend is around about 45 degrees. But from this point here, there's been more buying coming into the market and the trend has accelerated. So right now, you can see the shorter term trend is pulling away from the longer term trend, which you could argue is not sustainable, and Palantir might be due a pullback over the next few months. That is possible. Over the last week, Palantir is down around about 17.4%, but in terms of the trend, it's still intact. You can see the price action here is well above this trend line, and you can see last week's bar here is still above the line here. So even if there is more downside over the next 5 to 10 trading sessions, price could still stay above this confirmed trend line, confirming the trend still intact. And this is just a temporary pullback before the buyers come back in and price takes off. However, if price does break this trend line, then there is a risk towards the downside, and that Palantir might be sold off and perhaps fall down into support of $66. But it would have to break this level here of 126 first. 126 does appear to be a key level for Palantir. I've marked that up in blue. And you can see that there was a price peak created in February this year. There was some resistance before Palantir was sold off, and it came back down to this level here around about $65. So I'm going to mark that up as well. Under 65, there also was a bit of resistance around $45. You can see here Palantir trended up, met some resistance before it broke through during November 2024. Underneath that level, you've also got potential support and resistance around about 27, and also at this level here about $13. So you can see at the moment, Palantir is trending away from this long-term trend line. It is in an accelerated trend. And when that happens, there's always the risk that eventually the shorter term trend will conform to the longer term trend and the stock will have a pullback. It will be sold off into the longer term trend support. Zooming in on the chart for Palantir, we can see recently price did peak at around about $190. So I'm going to mark that level up as resistance. It met 190, met resistance, and over the last 2 weeks there has been selling pressure for this stock. So right now, yesterday it closed about 155, and for the week overall there is a low of 141. with a few days of this week left. So at the moment, it's trading between this level here of 126 and underneath that level of 188. So the risk at the moment is it might fall further into the support of 126, corresponding to the price peak back here, and also corresponding to the accelerated trend line created from this peak back in August 24, this significant peak in April 25. So it might come back into this zone here, around about $126, to test that support level, the support here and the support of the trend line. Now, if price finds support at 126, we might see a green reversal bar, similar to this price action back here in April. And that would suggest that the buyers have come back in and this accelerated trend is going to continue. However, if price doesn't find support here and we see a red bar break this trend line and perhaps break through this level of 126, the risk is then further towards the downside, and it may be possible that Palantir actually reverses and falls down into the support of $65, $66. And of course that move would correspond to this significant level here, and also it'll come close to the longer term trend line, which I've drawn here in orange. So in effect, what we're saying is the risk towards the downside is it's going to come back and test here. You may get some buying interest at this support line, and then it falls away to break that level, perhaps into $98, $100. There's a rally back to 125 before it falls away again into support around 82. Counter trend, and then eventually it comes back down to test this level here of around about $70 to $65. So that's a real possibility over the next few months for Palantir. If this level is broken, if the trend line's broken, if price action breaks through these levels here and falls into this zone, it's more likely that the price will fall further into the support of 66. When you look at the big picture for Palantir and the way it's been trending really well since December 2022, a pullback like this is completely normal, and it would still be in a long-term trend. If it pulls back to this zone here, it'll still be trending above this longer term trend line. Remember, trends go up and down. They can't go up forever. They can't go down forever. And so when you think about the trend here, which has accelerated away since August last year, so it's almost like 1 year now where it's been in accelerated trend, it is normal for it to pull back and find support towards the longer term trend line before taking off once again to make new highs. Now, if Palantir does stay in its long-term trend, even with this potential pullback, over the next 6 months into the longer-term trend line, it's possible then it'll take off once again. If all the fundamentals stay positive and the wider industry is bullish, then Palantir is positioned to take advantage of that for longer-term growth. So, based on this move here, from August 24, over a year, you can see you've got that trend line there. Simply by just moving that line, that angle away from here, potentially if it pulls back into around, $60 to $70, maybe that'll happen in the next 6 months, and maybe this will be, February 2026. If Palantir makes a similar move during 2026, over the next 12 months, then it's possible that it can move up towards, $300, $320, if the move in the next 18 months is similar to what happened here. So we've got the long-term trend, we've got an accelerated trend. It might pull back into support and then take off once again up to these levels here over the next 18 months. So for longer-term investors, this could be a great opportunity to buy once price obviously pulls back to a level around about $75. So definitely one to watch here long term. Of course, this could be, this is just a theory. It could be completely wrong, and Palantir might go exactly where it is now. It might just pull back into 130 and off it goes again. But from my experience, when you see these sorts of trends, it's not sustainable forever. It has to have a little breather. So it'd be completely normal for it to pull back from this level here into the longer term support and then move off once again in the next, so 6 months to here, and then another year then to move up to perhaps 300, 350. So if you're looking to buy Palantir right now, it might be best just to wait a few weeks to see what price action does. So I've had a few bearish weeks. It might find support here and then take off once again. So if you watch it over the next few weeks and we see a green reversal bar around about this support level, that would indicate it's going to keep going. But if it's more bearish and it breaks through these levels, the risk is towards the downside and it might be moving down to this level here, 65.70 over the next few months. And that would create a great opportunity to buy in for the long term and then look at 300, 350 over the next 18 months. Let me know what you think about my analysis. Do you agree with me? Are you bullish on Palantir or are you bearish? Let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching.